Welcome, everybody. We'll call our City Commission work session of April 19th to order. Nikki, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Nikki. All right, we have a presentation. We have the Public Service Recognition Week, and I will turn that over to Commissioner Tonga.
Well, thank you very much, Mayor. I see we have a director here to receive this. I think you should be down there as well as the leader of this organization.
I will be happy
Would
to.
you?
Thank you. Yes,
Be
it's
wonderful.
a great idea.
Absolutely.
Starting out strong today.
Wow. Keep your eye on the one on the left.
Oh, I always do. Good point, though.
All right, in all seriousness, Public Service Recognition Week, May 1 through May 7, 2022. Whereas Public Service Recognition Week is a time to recognize the men and women who serve our nation as federal, state, county, and local government employees and the value of the services they perform. And whereas public service is a noble calling involving a wide variety of challenging and rewarding professions that are essential to efficient and effective operation of government. And whereas public servants take an oath of allegiance and service, many, including military and law enforcement personnel, firefighters, and healthcare personnel, risk their lives in service to the people of their community, the United States, and around the world. And whereas many other public servants, such as administrative staff, utilities and parks, maintenance workers, solid waste, driver, loaders, and public work personnel often go unrecognized because they work behind the scenes to provide the essential services expected by our citizens. And whereas during Public Service Recognition Week, we are especially grateful to our devoted public servants. Their experience, expertise, and commitment contribute significantly to the quality of life for the citizens they serve in spite of many challenges. And whereas Public Service Recognition Week strives to inform all citizens about the quality of people in the government, to encourage excellence among public employees, and to promote interest in public service careers. Now, therefore, I, John Torninger, by the virtue of the authority invested in me as from the Mayor of the City of Dunedin, Florida, and on behalf of the entire City Commission, do hereby declare May 1 through May 7, 2022 as Public Service Recognition Week and call upon everyone to recognize the dedication of our public servants, especially the City of Dunedin employees, and to observe this week through appropriate programs and activities. And I think we'd be delighted to hear a few words from each one of you.
Well, thank you, Commission, Mayor. Teresa Smalling, Director of HR and Risk Management. I can't say enough about our employees and the work that they do year after year, day after day. They are dedicated to the mission of making Dunedin a great place to live, work, and play. But there's one group that never gets any recognition, and I want to go ahead and recognize our elected officials, because I read an article that a lot of people are rethinking going into public service because of the things that we face day to day. So thank you, and thanks to my boss.
Thank you, Dr. Smalley. And thank you so much for the proclamation. On behalf of the employees, we accept that proclamation. I'm with Teresa, exceedingly proud of all of our employees and how hard they work. And just so you know, they were just awarded in their paycheck on April 7th, the first installment of their premium pay. That was the funding that was set aside by all of you to pay all of our employees who worked during the pandemic. Those that had to report to work and had no option to go home or to work from home, our essential service employees received $1,600. And those that worked full-time for us throughout the pandemic, either worked from home or were on administrative leave because they weren't able to work from home, received 800, and then our part-time employees received 400. So we're very grateful to all of you for allocating that funding to them. It's certainly very well deserved, and we thank you very much for your support of our employees. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, now it's time for citizen input. Anybody wishing to come forward and speak to any item that is not already on the agenda? Okay, seeing and hearing none, we'll move to the consent agenda, which we have the approval of the minutes from March 22nd and March 24th. We have board and committee appointments to the CEQS, the Board of Adjustment and Appeal, the Board of Finance, Code Enforcement Board, Public Relations, U.S. Military Veterans, and that's it for board appointments, sorry. We have the ratification of an emergency purchase order to fix the reclaimed water line on Sarazen. We have the organizational structure and salary review. Are there any items to be pulled?
The 2D.
How did I know that was happening?
Which one is 2D? I'm sorry,
The organizational structure.
Review and
okay,
salary.
I don't quite
study.
have it pulled up yet, but could we also just pull up to Saracen just for a quick comment?
Okay,
2C.
So
Okay.
I will,
2C and 2D.
all right,
I will make a motion to accept everything except the two
Okay.
that are being pulled.
okay. Vice Mayor Kynes and Commissioner Franny, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. We'll go to the emergency PO on Sarazen. John?
Yes, I would like to just have a very quick explanation about this. There's a lot of money involved in this, and it actually goes a little bit further than that, and just shows what we attempt to do in the community for our residents to make sure they have these services, and it is expensive. And in this particular case, we had an accident, and we jumped on it quick, and someone found the money to make sure that we could fix this. So if you would just give us a quick explanation, especially for the people that are in that area so they understand what just happened. Really short, really brief. Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Russell Ferlita. I'm the Assistant Public Works Utilities Director and the City Engineer. Very briefly, and I can hand it over for additional questions to Matt Woodham here. Matt's our Senior Engineer in Engineering, and he really took the lead on getting this done quickly. But a very brief explanation, we do have a pipe distribution crew that's responsible for repairing leaks and breaks like this. We have limitations to what our crew can do due to the equipment that we have. And this particular line was very deep. It was about 8 to 10 feet to the top of the pipe, and we don't have the equipment to be able to safely get into a trench that deep, because there are actually some safety concerns with our staff. You can have cave into the trench, and our staff's safety is utmost important to us. So what we do is we have a piggyback contract with Pinellas County that we can use their services. We use TLC Diversified on this, and TLC is an excellent contractor we've used for many other projects. They're very responsive, they're very neat and clean, they're very cordial to our residents, and everybody, including staff, appreciate them. They jumped on this very quickly. The cost concern with this, it seems like a lot of money, but it costs a lot of money to do subterranean work. Whenever you dig up a road, not only do you have the cost to install the pipe, you also have the cost to abandon the existing portions of the pipe. We went ahead and replaced a valve that was bad when it was there. But then you have the cost to actually restore the roadway, the curbing. All of that costs a lot of money. The portion of the pipe itself is just a small fraction of that $50,000. And just to give you an idea, the original estimate was over $80,000 because we like to estimate. We don't know the extent of the break. And so we estimated about 50 feet, and TLC went in there, and we were able to determine that we didn't need that much work, so we were able to get in and out for less money. So I think that answers, it's a really big picture overview, but I think that answers your questions. If you have more questions, I'm going to leave it to our buddy here.
One of the things to consider with this was it was not only the reclaim line, but there's a storm system that perpendicularly crosses where that leak was, so we had to remove that piping and then reinstall. So it had to be bedded, it had to be sloped and be able to function as it was originally.
And these are not things that you can foresee that are going to happen, and this probably may never happen again, but it can, but it's not usual.
There's one thing we can guarantee is that unknowns are always going to happen. Right? That's the one thing we can guarantee for sure.
Sad.
Yeah, we have a very, I would like to say, I'm proud of our system. We do have some old infrastructure, but on a whole, we have a very good system, and then we're dumping a lot of money in to make it even better. And we're dumping a lot of staff time. We have a very good, experienced, strong technical staff that's able to do a lot of this work for us. So we don't have to, that's one great thing about our engineers. We don't have to outsource that kind of work to get these programs running.
Realizing that we have had reclaimed water for a certain period of time, what is the oldest line we have for reclaimed water here in Dunedin?
I can roughly give a number, but Paul would know even better than I would. We started our reclaim program in the early 90s. So I'm going to say early 90s is our oldest reclaim line. But Paul, if you want to give an exact date.
Actually, that would be 1992.
There we
So, and as Russell
October or
said,
November.
it was in conjunction with the fiscal year.
Right.
Yes, so.
Sure.
Commissioner Torga, as you probably know, our first customer was the Dunedin Golf Club. So that was the biggest, we were redoing the wastewater treatment plant at the time. The Dunedin Golf Club had their own wells there, and they were overpumped. They had saltwater intrusion, so they needed a helping hand. And so we were able to be able to do something beneficial for both of us, which was find a use for our reclaimed water, and we found our first customer, which was the Dunedin Golf Club back in 1992. So,
Thank you.
And we were begging people to get
Yeah.
reclaim water, and now everybody wants it.
And they
can't
still
get it.
remember it. And they
Oh,
still,
yeah.
because they pointed out, you
Use
told
it
us
as
we
much
could use
you
this
want,
much. Yeah,
It'll be cheap, yeah,
yeah, no.
yes.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the emergency PO?
So move.
Commissioner Torga and Commissioner Gal, thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. And now we have the organizational structure and salary study. Commissioner Franny, did you just have questions, or do you want a full-on presentation?
Well, did we have a presentation? I thought, and did you say that the two project managers were gonna be,
No, they are not, I'm sorry.
oh,
Yeah.
so that was, I was excited about that. And they're not gonna be here? We're not gonna meet them? Okay. Well, all right, it's unfortunate. Yeah, because I guess I'll have to lean on you to answer my stuff. First of all, like, I was surprised we only got two responses, two bids. Were you? I mean,
Honestly, Commissioner, I was happy we got two proposals because what we were asking for was a big ask. And we actually got prospective proposers to say, well, we only specialize in this area. Can you just take our bid on this area? But, as what happened with our recommended consultant, they are getting a subcontractor to do the area that they don't necessarily do. And they've worked with this subcontractor on quite a few projects. So to answer your question, I'm happy we got two.
we did two reference checks
We did reference checks, yes.
because it seemed like, one was a great reference check and one was not. So I was just curious if we should have done more.
Well, we also, because the city of Los Angeles, they was a client of theirs, and the city of Los Angeles did a similar study with the organizational review of community development, parks and recreation, and public works, as well as a salary survey. So we did ask them about that they didn't give the city of Los Angeles as a reference, and the response was, they thought that when we asked for references, we wanted references from the cities of comparable size to us. So they didn't include the larger organizations that they've done. Now, in their packet, they did have a client list, which
Right.
did list quite a number of Florida cities that they're working with. And I believe they are working in some, to some degree with the city of Clearwater also.
Yeah, it seemed like they provided a lot of references, so it just seemed like two was But you guys feel confident with that?
Yes, we asked them to come in for a presentation, and one of the things that set them apart from the other proposer was the other proposer talked mostly about doing things online and doing things via Zoom. And, we know especially with our public works and our parks people, they want hands-on people. They want people to be there, present, to help them with what needs to be done. So they came in person, they did a presentation. We had our selection committee consisted of George Kinney from Community Development, Jorge Quintas, our Deputy City Manager, Vince Gizzi, our Director of Parks and Recreation, Terry, our HR Risk Manager, and myself, and I think I'm missing one person. Paul Stanek, our very dear Paul Stanek, Director of Public Works and Utilities. So, we made sure that we had the represented departments, because this is not just a salary study. This is an organizational review and a salary study. The organizational review is to, in layman's term, right size, make sure we are what we're supposed to be. We are sectioned off into the proper departments, divisions, sections, that we don't have duplication of effort, that we don't have too many people working in one area while not enough people in another area, that we don't have our supervisors with too large a span of control. And as far as I know, this is the first time that we're really doing this. So that required, for us to really have participation from our department directors and our managers in looking at the RFP before it went out, and then in helping with the selection of the consultant.
So if I may add, all of the department directors reviewed the RFP and gave the thumbs up before it went out.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the virtual versus, because I noticed the answer to their question. I just thought it was a little vague about on-site versus virtual. Tasks will be completed via the best means available at the time. We anticipate conducting some meetings or performing direct observation on site. I think that we also expect to conduct some virtual meetings as a convenience for the city. And I'm thinking to myself, why would that ever be a convenience for us? Because wouldn't we always prefer on-site in this kind of a situation?
Well, they're taking into consideration the fact that some cities that they deal with right now, they are still doing Zoom. They don't want people on campus. So they're saying basically that they will work with whatever we want. If we don't want them in person on site, they'll do the Zoom. If we want them here, they're willing to do that. And as a matter of fact, they waived travel expenses so that, to make sure that, they could accommodate whatever we need.
So, because that goes to the heart of my biggest question, which is the methodology, of how they're going to understand what our employees do, the questionnaire, their, what do they call it, TDRX software module. Is that a point-based system, the TDRX? Do they?
I'm not 100% sure, but what we will be doing is, instead of just the usual working with HR, there will be a project team from the city, and that will consist of employees from other departments working as a project team with the consultant. So that's one of the things that we're going to discuss, what type of questionnaire we want, how we want to do it, because we do know that with our employees, some people are not comfortable with having to sit down and write out a bunch of, what I do every day. So we're going to definitely, and we've been prepping the employees for at least a year. Jennifer, in her visits, has gone out and told the employees that we're doing this, and we've told them the consultant is going to rely on what you tell them that you do. So we're going to definitely make sure that however the questionnaires are done, it's done in a way that our employees are comfortable with, that our employees are able to share what they do. And we're even, probably looking at the ones, for example, our service workers, who basically do the same thing. They'll get together as a group, and someone will be there to help them to fill out that questionnaire. So to make sure we're getting the most comprehensive information about the jobs that we do at the city.
Does the consultant have questionnaires? Is it a questionnaire starting from scratch, or Are they bringing to the table different variations and?
Yes, they have a group of different questionnaires that we can choose from.
And how do they deal with, and I mean, I like the answer of them doing it as a group, because the old, some people are better at writing, some people aren't, same job. They're at different levels, because one's a better writer, one's not. How will it be dealt with the supervisor? So if the supervisor disagrees that, oh, yeah, no, this is really not their scope.
So those are some of the things that we will iron out as the project team dealing with the consultant. When we don't honestly have all the answers, but the consultant has told us that they will do for us, we're comfortable that we will be able to get to where we need to go, using whatever is the best method for the city, because it's not a one-size-fits-all when it comes to these things.
The whole anomaly, what's the word I want?
Anomaly.
Thank you, of COVID. With the cost of living being what it is, driving costs up, I mean, how will they deal with that? I mean, because obviously you could go crazy with market prices, but this is a moment in time. I mean, did you ask that question of how they're going to deal with that so that they don't overreach at a time when we're dealing with some pretty unique situation?
So what their job basically is to bring recommendations. They're not going to tell us what we need to do. And from
Right,
those
but
recommendations.
You don't want to have extreme,
Yes.
recommendations. That's going to be.
Right. What we've asked in their scope, and they pointed this out and told us about it, is they're not just dealing with salary. They're dealing with total compensation. That means the benefits that we offer in addition to salaries. So they're not just going to say, well, your salaries are above or below market. They're going to ask, where do you want to be in the market? We had this conversation a few years back when we talked about employer of choice. Where do you want to be in the market? Do you want to be the highest, paying the highest salaries? Do you want to be at the bottom where, you're paying just above minimum? Or do you want to be in the middle or somewhere above or below? So those are some of the conversations that they will be having with us to determine where we want to be, because it's not just about saying we want to be, we want to pay the best that we can. We can only pay what we can afford to pay. So if we can't necessarily be the highest paid, but we can be somewhere in the middle, and then we supplement what we're paying with benefits. I constantly say, Dunedin sells itself. People that come here, other consultants, people I've talked with, they come to Dunedin, Jennifer can tell you, and they say, I want to stay here. I want to be a part of what we're doing. And that's one of the things that we want to include is those intrinsic benefits that make up your total pay, because we can't pay the highest in Pinellas County or even in the state. But we have to find a way to market what we have and leverage that so that our employees will say, hey, I'm getting a little less than if I went to St. Petersburg, but guess what? I have a great work-life balance, or I have time to spend with my family, or whatever it is that will leverage us to be able to compete.
I'll just make this my last question. In reading, in reading it, I got the sense that the consultant is not 100% comfortable with the timeline, that in some ways we're rushing the timeline to meet the budget. And I'm just going to speak out here. I want to do it right. I don't want it to be rushed. I mean, if we have to implement something 2 months after budget, so be it. I'm concerned with what I read, that we're not giving them an optimum timeline.
Jennifer, do you want to?
I do, yeah. And we want it done right, obviously. And if they are rushed or they feel that they don't have the information that they need, then we would definitely give them more time in those terms to get it right. And I've already talked to Les about what that would look like as far as fiscal year 2023. We have set aside funding to address the organizational study for fiscal year 2023. We really want to deliver to the City Commission exactly what that looks like. I think we will be able to do that by the end of the budget cycle. But of course, we need to advertise the budget and so on and so forth. So I agree with you. Yes, we need to be very careful and meticulous. And we need to make sure that we have all the information that we need in order to make the best recommendation to the city commission. But I think it's very important that whatever we do, we're able to implement it in fiscal year 2023.
And it said in there, I think, that they could deliver one thing and then come back and deliver the other piece. I can't remember how they labeled it, but,
Part of the
So
organizational
the.
yeah, the study and then
And the
the
pay- the
money,
actual
it was
pay, the
separate,
money
it's
after,
different.
So actually, they'll be sort of working hand in hand, but they may
Right.
start one before the other so that, because some of the information that they need, the organizational review needs from the salary study and vice versa.
Right.
So we have given them that leeway, and even in our scope of services, we said, here's our suggested timeline, but tell us if, something that works better. So once again, that meeting with the project team will be very important because those are some of the things that we will be talking about and talking out.
Yeah, I mean, optimally, I think they said it could add 8 to 10 weeks if it was done, organizational study, then pay plan,
Right.
whatever. Which, again, we want it, this is huge, and, and I,
Yeah, I get it. We want
Yeah.
to be confident in what
Yeah.
it's proposing, and I know Jennifer said to me
Right.
on the phone yesterday that if we have to do a budget amendment, that's what we'll do.
right. I mean, the biggest thing is like, understanding what kind of number to put in our budget. But again.
But you do have a number in there.
Yeah, I know
right?
she does. Yeah, she does.
How much is that?
550,000 to address the organizational study? Yeah. Yes.
That's what you said yesterday.
No, I'm asking what is the piece to bring up the salary? I thought it was like $1 million or something like that.
No, it was
I don't know why
520.
that's, okay.
Right, Les?
It's 113.
Well, the study is, but I meant in the budget for
Oh,
the
I
results,
see.
for the results.
And how much?
Right now, we're looking at an estimate increase of about $520,000 in '23. That for just, it's an
Yeah.
estimate at this point, but that's what we have right now.
And so.
And that's a pretty
I wanna-
good amount,
Yes.
I think.
If I may elaborate on that a little
Sure.
bit, too. Because really, what we want to convey to the employees is that we are looking at that, this is a concrete thing,
Yeah.
for fiscal year 2023. Depending on what the results of the salary survey and what that really looks like, it may exceed that, in which case we might have to look at a 2-year plan or something like that, but yet that's what we've set aside. And I think it's a
And the
realistic
ARPA
number.
Can also be a part of that, right?
I'm sorry?
The ARPA money?
The ARPA can do additional premium pay funding.
You can't do this.
But I don't think that we need to do that. I do want to elaborate on that again, elaborate on that elaboration, but I want to be very clear, as far as the salary survey goes and the organizational review goes. There may be some employees who are at market or above market and some who are below.
Right.
This doesn't mean that all the employees are going to get something. I want to be
Right.
very clear about that. So what it is really, in my mind, entirely, as far as the organizational review goes, right-sizing the organization as far as who's doing what and where and how, which has never been done, and then putting us in a competitive market as far as salaries go.
Very good. Anything else, Mo?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be clear too. All my questions, obviously, this is my wheelhouse, but all my questions lead up to the fact that I believe in our employees. We have great employees, and John did a great job doing the proclamation today. They've always been, our backbone. I want a study I can believe in, because I know the things that can go wrong in a study. One is setting bad expectations for everybody, both to us and to the employees. And the other is not spending enough time on the ground in the communicating and understanding what people really do. And actually, I think it's probably good that you're looking through the way that they're going to do the questionnaires, because there's a lot of biases that can happen when everybody does their individual questionnaire. So, I probably would have done a few more reference checks, but I trust you guys, and if you believe that these guys can bring home the product, I'm good.
Commissioner Torres?
Yes, so thank you very much, Mayor. I spent quite a bit of time with this, with the city manager in a concern. And it started off at many areas, and I just want to make this comment. I'm familiar with the Hay system, and that's pretty much it as far as this kind of detail is. The realization that we are spending a lot of money I think it was 113.5, is that what it is?
Yes.
113.5. We discussed that, and the importance of that, okay, and that's a huge sum of money, is that we're getting all the way down to the organizational side of this. And that's really, really important, and the city manager went through a lot of that detail, because that really is important. The rest of it is not just a science, it's a little bit of an art, and you discussed that, and I appreciate that. And both of these companies that are going to be working with this, and we talked about this as well, they have a machine that they're going to put this information into. I'm kidding about a machine, but they have a format that they're going to put this in. What they put in there is really, really important from the organizational side, and that's your point, and that's the
Exactly.
point that I wanted to make. Because I've been involved in this before, where we have people that don't really have the capacity to really state what they do, sort of, and finally something's got to go in, and they put something in. I know I've had to write this before, so I think that's a really great point, and we have to get it right. And so I just want you to hear that from us, that we really just want to get it right, that side of it. That's really important to us, and I appreciate what the city manager just said. We're going to just take a look at this and see where everybody stands. I think that's really important, because it's the quality of how we give the information, or the information that goes in, and that we look at it, and then that we look at it critically when it comes back, very critically, by department. And the director should know that, and so should the managers, that it's not just what the study shows then, it's what we do know, and we do treasure our employees. And so it's not just going to come out of a machine, and we're going to look, I trust, we're going to look at that. I have confidence in that. So I had a great meeting about that, and I did go through a number of the cities. I discussed that, and I looked at the population of some of those cities where they had done their work, et cetera. But in the end, I was okay with that. At first, I was a little critical, and then I was okay with that, because they're going to come in, and I trust, under the guidance of all of you, and including yourself, with your expertise in the city manager, that if we do it right, we're going to get good information. So I just wanted to reiterate that as well.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Twonka. Vice Mayor, any questions or comments on this?
Will they be, I noticed, I was reading all their different places that they have work spaces, and I noticed they had it in Boca Raton. Will they mainly be working out of Boca Raton? I mean, they have a lot of auxiliary branches.
So we're not totally clear where they'll be working. They did say that they will do, because one of the things that impressed us also was, for the organizational review, they're assigning employees that actually have experience in each of the operational areas: parks and recreation, community development, public works, and utilities. So I know they're based in Washington, D.C. also, so you may have some people who are, working out of different offices, but I think the main point is that they can understand who we are. And that's part of the initial, where they're coming to talk to us, talk about who we are. They understand that just because we're a local government doesn't mean we're just like, Pinellas Park or
Right,
whoever.
we're all different.
So they're going to come and find out how we do things, why we do things the way we do things, as opposed to maybe this other way, and kind of get an idea of who we are before they actually start working on, all the other things.
So they're matching spheres of expertise with your particular components, and you're trying to do a broad component study.
Right, and then in the scope of services, we basically said that we need some comparative data from those places that we're competing against, not necessarily other governments, but we're also in some sectors competing against private sector entities. So those are some of the things that they'll look at and bring back recommendations, because they'll understand, We're a small city, we have limited resources. What are the things that we can do to attract people to want to come here and stay here?
Both the intrinsic and the non-intrinsic or whatever.
Extrinsic.
Yeah, extrinsic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner, anything?
I have just one question. Just want to make sure that the team that they are putting together to understand this is the team that we'll always have with them. That it's not going to be a matter of every time something comes up, it's who's available on their end. That it's the team we have day one is the team we have on the final product.
That is definitely what we're going to strive for, Commissioner, because in the last formal study that we did, that was one of the main issues, that they were having so much turnover that it seemed like we got a new analyst every 3 weeks, and that really disrupts things. So we definitely, we have some lessons learned from the last go-around and from even the go-around before that. So we're definitely keeping their feet to the fire on this one, because as everyone has said, this is hugely important. It's a lot of money, and we definitely want to make sure that we are in a good place after this.
Thank you.
That's one last question.
Sure.
Oh, you didn't answer.
Go ahead.
No, have you guys met the whole team that's going to work the project?
No,
I mean,
we have
virtually or otherwise?
We have not met the whole team. We met the two major players, if you will. But, once again, once we have that introductory meeting, those are the things that we expect to
It's all about the team.
iron out.
All about the team. Crap in, crap out, but
For sure.
enough said. Sorry.
Will they,
It's actually garbage in, garbage out.
Well, we were talking about pipes and wastewater.
I will assume that once they make a recommendation, and I couldn't find it in the report specifically addressed, but it might be in there and I just missed it, it's pretty big. Once they give the recommendation for the adjustments, the financial adjustments and all of that, and we look at the employee levels and all that, will they be giving us some kind of guideline? We don't have to use it, but as to what our future raises should be to keep them where they should be given today's economy?
That was also in our scope of services, asking, what things were going to look
Sure.
like. And, part of their modus operandi, if you will, is that it's not that they'll be doing all the work and then giving it to us all at the end.
Right.
They have certain timelines that they'll be giving us, showing us where they're at and what they've discovered so far. So it'll be this constant communication. And then when the draft proposal comes out, the project team will first see it, and then city manager, department directors will see it, and if anything needs to be tweaked, then it
Right.
goes back before it finally comes before the commission.
Okay, and Jennifer, when you do bring this back, what's the process of everybody reviewing?
Well, I think actually to Commissioner Franny's point, as far as timing goes, I would actually like to bring it back at a workshop first so you can discuss it, and then we would bring it back.
As a contract?
Right. I
Or
think
as
it would be a mistake
not
to come.
This is the contract.
Right, it would be a mistake to come to you.
Because it is an admin thing.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. It would be part of the budget, though.
Really?
So that's where your
That's
approval
where we
process
come in.
would be. Right. I think that it would be a mistake for us to come straight in as a budget item for all of you. I
Right,
think that
yeah.
you need to discuss it first.
No, I know, that's why I was asking, so that we're all kind of clear on
Right.
how we would want to review it.
Yeah, and so I appreciate Commissioner Franny's comment. If we have to go past the public hearings for the budget, then we have to do that, in order to make sure that we have the time to get this done, the consultant has the time to get this
Yeah.
done, and you have the time to review it and talk amongst yourselves at a workshop.
Okay.
Mayor,
Can
if
I
I
have a
may?
question on that?
Yep.
Is there any valid reason to see the one piece before the other piece, or to?
Well, that's what Teresa was saying,
Yeah.
that there may be pieces of it that do get to her first.
Yeah, but I meant to us. Would it make any sense for us to say, oh, yeah, we buy into this workload thing, and
Except that I think
it's all gonna
I
jumble
think these
together?
guys have to have a well-rounded recommendation when we're looking at this.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't think we're looking at and giving you, I think your team
I
has
don't
to
have
come
an
to us
opinion
with a
on it. I just
recommend.
wondered
Right.
if you
Well, I
thought
think that the salary component is obviously much more important for you to review. Really, the span of control and the organizational structure review, I feel is administrative.
Yeah.
To be sure.
Well, I mean, that has to do
But
with
it has,
staffing levels.
it has
and
a
that's-
financial
so that's huge.
It has a
impact,
financial
so.
impact, yes.
But again, I personally want to know what you recommend.
Right.
And I personally would hope that you would also sit down with Board of Finance and give them your pitch as well, and
Right.
anybody else, I don't know, Personnel Review Board, I don't know who else you would do it to, but whomever.
Definitely Board of Finance. In terms of staffing levels, absolutely, because that might be new positions.
Right.
I'm talking about.
I'm guessing
job
it's gonna,
classifications, management.
yeah, I'm guessing they're gonna say you need people in certain areas.
Manage expectations, Mayor.
Just saying, I'm just saying,
Less fainted, but we're okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay.
okay.
I'm
So,
okay.
just in terms of the team approach that we're going to take, obviously Teresa is taking the lead as our Director of Human Resources, and she's done this, several times before. I think all the directors have in the past, in terms of some sort of an organizational review. But I think it's really important that we kicked it off right, and that was, as far as the scope goes, that everybody had fingerprints on that scope. And the results of this organizational review and the salary survey, everybody's going to have their fingerprints on that as well. We'll talk to the department directors, we'll talk to the division directors, we'll talk to the managers to make sure that everybody understands what the results are and get their comments as well before we bring it to all of you. Because I think in terms of, there are two ways that we could fail. First of all, garbage in, garbage out, and second of all, that the entire
I
organization
like mine better.
hasn't,
Sorry, go ahead.
hasn't really had a chance
Right,
to review and make comments. And I think every single study that we've seen that hasn't done well, it's because we didn't have the input that we needed to really put a solid end product before the city commission. So we're going to commit to that, and if it takes a little longer, then.
right, that's what I was just gonna say, I mean, that's probably what's gonna,
Right.
that's gonna be a couple
push it.
weeks added, at least, I mean.
Right.
Okay. I think it's a good thing, right?
Oh, I mean,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, it's our biggest, most important asset.
Okay, so can I have a motion to approve this contract? Okay, Commissioner Torga and Vice Mayor. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Now we'll move to our action items. Item 3A is a supplement, Resolution 2209, for the city of, commission to send a supporting application, to support the application for funding towards a future parking garage that Gus Bilirakis is trying to put in the budget. So what I first need is a motion to add this to the agenda.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
Commissioner Torga and Commissioner Franny, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, Nikki, can you please read Resolution 2309 by title only?
Absolutely, Mayor. Resolution 2209, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Dunedin supporting application to the Community Project Program for the fiscal year 2023 Economic Development Initiative, EDI, from the Department of Housing and Urban Development for Community Redevelopment Project Program through the Office of the Honorable Congressman Gus Bilirakis. This has been reading of Resolution 2209 by title only.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Franny and Commissioner Torga, thank you. Robert?
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, Bob
And Les.
Ironsmith, Economic Development Director, and I have Les Tyler here, our Finance Director. I'm not going to go ahead and re-paraphrase what City Attorney Nikki said, but this is a wonderful opportunity. As you're all well aware, recently with the City Commission approval, we acquired a property at Scotland and Douglas to preserve opportunities for additional downtown parking. We did an awful lot of due diligence on that, which actually is coming into good stead now, as we have this wonderful opportunity to make this request through Congressman Bill Rackus' office for a $2 million appropriation for a future downtown parking garage. I definitely want to give some special thanks for getting us to the point where we're at right now, and really that's Nicole Delfino, who has taken the lead, taken the charge, putting all this together, and also a lot of thanks to Jeannie Garner in my office, Les Tyler, and Jorge, who all worked together. This all just came up within the last week. Hey, there's this great opportunity, what can we do? So staff has worked, and as I said, Nicole has kind of taken the lead on it, putting it together, and that's where we are today, coming before you to go forward with this request through Congressman's office. And this is a great thing to get a $2 million grant. So, be happy to answer any questions. Of course, Les is here with the overall finance questions. We are looking at the garage somewhere around the $6.1 million project, so this $2 million would be a third of that project. The rest of the funding would come from the CRA and Penny. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Bob. Commissioner?
Is it,
Professor?
is it a matching grant? So,
Not quite matching. It would be about a third toward the project.
right, I mean, it's 2 out of 6. I
Yeah.
get that, but a lot of grants are matching.
Oh,
so-
and matching, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor.
Matching.
Yes, it's based on the city making a contribution and the city doing certain things, yes.
So 2, and then we still have,
Yes.
Right.
I will say, too, I might defer here to City Manager Jennifer. I don't have any experience dealing with a congressman's office, so I don't know how competitive this is. But we certainly are competing, though, so I don't want to say this is a done deal unless, Jennifer, you have a little more to add to that.
Nothing more. It isn't a done deal, but it's a good try.
yes,
Yeah,
good
and
try.
well, and
Okay, thank you.
last year he had some funding, small amount, couple $1 million, I think, to go towards the Causeway Bridge, and that got vetoed out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have no idea, really.
Of course, I will say this, though, we made it this far. We were
Yeah.
competing with everyone else even to get this first initial foray. So that's kind of a nice thing, too, that he's really looking out for Dunedin. And
Yeah.
as you said, Mayor, don't know what happens down
Well,
the road.
I think it was interesting is what we submitted to him numerous projects. His staff had asked for what projects we would like to submit, numerous, and they picked this one that they want to forward. So,
Because they felt it had the biggest shot of
right.
getting
I forgot,
coverage.
yeah, very good
Yeah.
point. There was a whole list that all the departments provided to Nicole, yes.
Very good. Anything else?
No, that was my question.
Questions?
Bob, assuming this goes through and it gets built, what's the estimated maintenance cost on a garage?
Yeah, on the maintenance cost, obviously, we don't pay property taxes. That's a big one, but you do have the insurance. We're self-insured, so I don't think it's going to be a heavy hit. I'll have to defer to Teresa on that one. You certainly would have some general maintenance in that. Hard for me to give a ballpark figure, to be honest with you, but it should be relatively lower than what we would experience anywhere else because we control it.
Okay. No swag at all?
A swag, okay.
What does that mean?
A swag number.
Scientific, wild.
I guess if I was,
Gotcha.
I guess if I was to, wow.
It's called age over here. I don't know all this.
Okay, that's fine. If I was to swag a number, boy, I always hate to do that.
Yeah,
That's-
well, we pay
Yeah, I would say
125 to Joe every year.
lower than
Right,
that for the
100.
maintenance.
The mayor's going to swag a number, I
100.
guess.
No, that's for the lease. For the
No, that's
maintenance.
for the lease,
That's
sorry.
the lease. The maintenance is lower.
The maintenance is lower than, but it's still like 75,000 a year.
I would say 30, 50 grand a year type
Okay.
stuff.
But we wouldn't.
You got him there.
But we wouldn't be paying the lease.
Well, there's no
Right.
lease.
You know, so,
There's no property taxes.
and we're paying,
I don't know from risk safety.
You have
from
control.
yeah, we have total
Teresa's
control.
at- So I might be getting a little too far because I don't know what that would ask, include for the insurance
Yeah.
aspect, so.
For a future meeting,
I got the look.
for a future meeting.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make this.
But now you know, Bob, that he's going to be looking for that, so, when you do bring it to us.
I got the look from Teresa, I better do some homework, so,
What's the S for? Some?
We can discuss acronyms after the meeting. I'm
Yeah, forget it.
Is it sort of bad?
Anomaly, I
Yeah.
can say it now.
Anything else?
Oh, my goodness, I'm off track now.
All we're doing today is just approving sending
The resolution.
the resolution. We're
Yeah.
not approving,
And I'll just say,
Right.
I look forward to these types of conversations about multimodal.
In the
and that's
future.
it. In the future.
Okay.
Thank you.
The not too distant future.
Madam,
No, I have no questions. No, I'm good.
Anything?
I have no questions
Okay.
regarding the ask from
Okay.
from the office.
You know, I look forward to hearing more about a MRF
I'm sorry?
somehow.
It's coming up today, so, well, kind of,
sort of.
sort of.
Okay, this is a
Not
public
there yet.
hearing. Anyone wishing to come forward to speak to this item, please feel free to do so. Give us your name and address for the record. Okay, I don't see anyone. We'll close the public hearing. Any final comments? I think we all understand what we're doing here. It's just a resolution.
Just thank you to Representative Belarakis.
Very good. Okay, roll call vote?
Commissioner Cowell.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Kynes.
Aye.
Commissioner Torga.
Aye.
Commissioner Franny.
Aye.
Mayor Bujalski.
Aye, and that motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much for letting us walk that one on. We appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Okay, now we have the agreement for the purchase of Jerry Lake from Swiftmud. And I guess Bruce and Jorge are going to present.
They are.
Okay, have fun.
Morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners.
Good morning.
In an effort to try to elevate the conversation from garbage in, garbage out, and swagging, we bring you this item that we're very pleased to bring before you this morning. We were able to identify in the last couple of months parkland impact fee funds in order to bring forward the purchase of Jerry Lake. The item you have before you this morning for your consideration is the agreement for the purchase of Jerry Lake from Swiftmud to the city of Dunedin. And then once action is taken by the commission, it will then go before the Swiftmud Governing Board for the contract for sale and purchase. I did want to take this opportunity to thank Bruce Worth. Given his tenure in the past with Swiftmud, and his relationship and connections there, we were able to bring forward this agreement. He did all the heavy lifting on this, so I wanted to thank him for that.
Bruce?
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you. So I'll make this quick. I'm kind of excited about this, too. I've had a connection with Jerry Lake for many years, and just to go back, your first reclaim project, I helped do the cooperative funding on at Swiftmud in '92, so I've been around a long time. This is exciting, and there's some people up at Swiftmud that are kind of closing out their careers. They're also have been very accommodating and are really happy that the city is purchasing this property. So with that, let me just kind of hit the highlights. So there's a three-part recommendation, and that is that you approve the contract for sale and purchase. That has been attached to your agenda. It's been reviewed by the city engineer, I'm sorry, Nikki, the city attorney, and also Swiftmud, so we're in sync there. So we're asking for you to approve that at the appraised value of $495,000. There also, we're going to ask you to approve the necessary funds for closing. We don't expect it to exceed $5,000. That number is a little lower than that, but we did that. That'll cover just the actual closing costs that go along with the property. That has also been, our title attorney has been involved directly with Swiftmud, so everything's been very well coordinated. And then the final thing is sort of just direct staff to go forward with the closing procedures. Now, what will happen next is that if you sign today, approve today, we sign it. The governing board is meeting next Tuesday. I'll attend. Just if there's any questions, I don't anticipate anything occurring. Once the governing board approves the same purchase agreement, they will then authorize their staff to go forward, and we've got a 90-day closing window. So between next Tuesday and 90 days, we'll make the arrangements. It's a pretty straightforward process with Swiftmud. They have a title company, et cetera, so it's pretty routine. We'll go forward with the closing, and once that occurs, I think the governing board accepts the closing at some point, and you own the property. So, and the only other thing I wanted to point out is that the funds we required a budget transfer amendment. That'll come back to you at a later date, but that's all has been run through Les and his department. Any questions?
So if I could just add, so
Sure.
the action today that the commission would take would essentially take approximately 80 acres of Jerry Lake and add that to the previously purchased Gladys Douglas Preserve, and that would result in nearly 125 acres of additional recreational and public use land for the residents of Dunedin and the county.
What was the total? I was trying to find it on the survey, but it doesn't really give
80
you a total.
acres, approximately. Of
80, did you say? So that's more than we
Yeah.
anticipated.
So between that and the Gladys Douglas Preserve, we're at 125 acres of land that the city controls.
You know, I added this carefully. I'm proud of it, 'cause
I knew somebody could tell me right off the top of their head, so I wasn't going to bother. Very good. Questions for Bruce or Jorge?
Thank you. That governing board meeting next Tuesday,
Yeah, where is
Yes.
it?
is that streamed, is that
I
televised?
believe they do stream it. It's up, it's going to be held in Brooksville. It starts at 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to Bruce.
And,
That's
so, yes, they do televise it, I believe.
Okay, can someone get us that information? Because I think there at least might be one of us, if not five of us. would like
We can get that to you. If you, I'll just
Yeah, I
say
could
this,
actually-
if you,
I would
if
do
you
that.
just Google
Yeah.
SWFMD, it'll come up, and then it'll take you to the governing board meeting, so, but I'll get that.
Yeah, but we want to get it.
I'll
in our
get that to you.
calendars and stuff. Can we just
Sure.
get Andrea to search
We'll get
it
that
out?
and we'll have Andrea put it on here.
And just so you know, what you'll be looking at is they hold committee meetings first, and this will be on their land committee. And then once they meet as whole as a committee, then they come out of that as a governing board. So whatever the recommendations are of the committee will be approved by the full board.
Well, I think it would be a good idea too, if we can, by Zoom, if they will allow communication. They did with the grant that we got for the improvements, but I don't know if they'll do that for this. If we can try to figure that out, I mean, we can certainly at least be available for comments.
Well, you've got the Veterans Expressway. I mean, really,
Uh-huh.
Road trip.
Yeah.
road trip. We'd have to leave at 6.
Yeah, I'm not.
As long as Deborah's not driving, I just.
Yeah, and I would
Am I
be
driving the bus
driving.
again?
I would be driving.
Anything else?
I'm going
yes,
to need
ma'am.
that bus again.
And
Bus.
the, just rounding the 80.4 acres, right, that is approximately 50 acres for the lake itself, and then 30 acres of
What I would.
not lake, I guess.
That's a good way to put it.
Wetlands and uplands.
It's mostly wetlands, a little bit of uplands that you could, it stays high and dry mostly on the western side.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was going to ask. Is there any intention, if this goes through today and we end up purchasing, that the public is going to have access to the lake itself through the Gladys Douglas? That they, in their kayaks, that they might go through those wetlands? Is there a need? And I might be way too early on my thought process.
I think you are.
If I may, Mayor, I think that the upland is certainly very appealing as far as further recreation. I think we need to get through the purchase of Jerry Lake and then the FCT and all the improvements to the Gladys Douglas itself. And one of those is a kayak launch, so we'll be able to launch on the lake and use the lake and that type of a
And
thing.
one of those is a pier, because I'm getting bombarded, and so is my husband, about when can we fish that lake? I mean, that's all I'm hearing about. It's like, okay.
Yeah, and so we're doing those improvements that Vince had described a while ago, and that's to get the Gladys Douglas
Just to get it
Preserve
open.
so people can walk through it.
So I'm
Parking,
presuming that
restrooms.
water access is not going to be there until we get the water improvements done.
Correct, right. That will be the next step after the step. But yes, that's something that we would look at on the outlying years as far as the plan goes. Absolutely.
Okay. And then between the two, we're talking about 124.4 acres. Is there a need to connect those two properties to make it whole, or there's?
No,
Not-
they
not
border,
a
they're
need.
adjacent.
They're
Yeah,
abutting.
they're-
Well, they are adjacent, but I'm
But we
talking
will,
about,
for the zoning part of it, we have to do that. We
Well,
have to annex
actually,
it.
it's-
And our
Incorporated.
intent is to
I-
add.
We have to annex it, we have to
Oh,
go
I see.
through the public,
Right,
recreation, so that it also has to go to referendum if we try to sell it.
right, yeah, and so, and
It'll have to do
if that
that.
were to ever happen in the future, the idea would be that it would be as one piece of land, not two
Right.
separate.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Might
right,
take a little while to get it done, but yes, that's the intent, I would think.
okay. Yeah, I just thought the bigger the property, the harder it might be, is where I was going. I know, that's it, that's all I have, thank you.
Sorry, go ahead.
So,
I was trying to
I
figure,
guess I had a moment, but what's the water improvements?
the Kayak
Said we have to
launch
do water
and the
treatment.
pier.
Oh, the pier. I
Yeah,
thought
the
you meant
pier
like
and the
actual
kayak
treatment
launch.
of water.
No,
So,
no,
okay.
no.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. The maintenance that the county will do, the maintenance the city will do.
City does.
Yeah, city's doing it.
We were doing it anyway.
But with the, you know, the
The outfit
flood
themselves,
control.
that,
Yeah, so
That's the county.
the counties has
The weir.
an
right?
easement, a license agreement that will transfer with the sale, that they are required to maintain the flood control elements of that. And again, you got the big structure and berm to the north, but there's also a series of channels that come in from off of Virginia Avenue. There's another outlet on the east. That's all outlined in that license agreement, and the county is required to maintain that perpetually, not only with the license agreement, but they hold the permit for all those things. And they,
Great.
so that's covered there. All we would do as part of this now would be take on the lake maintenance, which there's been a annual spraying of the cattails, and that runs about $4,000 to $6,000.
Doug had told us at one point when we were talking, I thought he said it was like 50 to 75 a year to maintain it, not do the weirs and stuff, but to.
No, we made
Just
that
anything.
request.
I think that he was going on the high, I can't remember,
Yeah,
but it
no.
was about, because that was the thing when we were
that's
trying
when
to.
we were pursuing a maintenance agreement.
Right.
This
And that's
allows-
what he was saying, that would be like 75 a year.
Yeah, and the benefit of proceeding with this action today is, if we don't do that, and then we have to pursue a maintenance agreement in the interim, there's no guarantee that when this property gets surplus, that somebody else doesn't purchase
Right.
it. So this allows the city to control its own destiny.
There's not, I mean, when you talk about the cattails, there's not any other invasive stuff?
I think there's some hydrilla. They spray for, cattails, hydrilla, the exotics. It's so pretty, they've been doing that since they purchased it.
And since you've mentioned spraying,
I'm losing control of my meeting over here. I got this one and this one,
thought
and
my
still in the
questions
middle
were-
of her questions.
I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
but, if it had the same.
Would you like,
Go right ahead,
I
Jeff,
just have one last, so go ahead.
because I got to go this way.
I know, I'm
I think
sorry.
it's the vice mayor that's kind of.
Yeah, she threw us off.
She's in a one, she's
She's a
adding up. the
mathematician.
There's certainly
Yeah,
those
took me a
members
while.
of the public, and I'm one of them, that would be concerned when we talk about spraying herbicides, pesticides, that we are as sensitive as we can be in leading in that environment. So is there any negative impact to the water quality
Commissioner-
or the?
Yeah,
the-
Commissioner, well, we're going to continue to do everything we've been doing all along. So everything has to comply with the permit requirements, and so we're not doing anything that we haven't been doing before.
Well, that doesn't say anything, Jorge.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
No offense, buddy, but what were you doing before? And I don't think he can answer you that at this point.
Well, no, we've been doing exactly what's required in order to do the
Well, I think there are.
vegetation maintenance in accordance with the permit
You
requirements.
saw all or you probably heard about the rat thing. I mean, I'm telling you, people are very conscious and concerned about any chemical that we're using anywhere. It's become a thing, I mean, over time, so
Well, I think
you'll have to answer that question when it comes that time, not today, but just to say. Okay, go.
Well, I was, Jennifer was dying to say something, weren't you, or?
Get the goats.
I think to Jorge's
The
point,
goats.
though, is that we are treating now,
Yeah.
using the chemicals that are permitted but via the permit, and the lake itself is thriving. I mean, it's
Right.
full of fish, birds, and all, you don't see any kills around it or anything like that. So we're doing the right thing now, we'll continue to do the right thing,
Yeah.
to your point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get the goats.
We'll get the commissioner a
one
canoe
more.
and a net.
Stop it. Stop it.
So
Go
my
right ahead,
last
Commissioner.
question is rhetorical. So whether we do recreational use at all, we have preserved 80 acres of a lake environmentally forever. And that's a wonderful thing. If all we ever do is look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure, like, there's no, we don't have to do anything. This is an amazing thing, just for environmental, wildlife purposes.
Yeah.
And whatever we do, I want to make sure it doesn't interfere.
Affect
with-
them, yeah.
Affect them, so that's it. I don't have any other questions. Which, that was kind of not a question
Commissioner.
I was doing.
So I can do this really briefly. It's a question and a comment. And so, Bruce, I understand you're going to be at the meeting.
Yes.
up in Brooksville, so I really appreciate that, and I'm glad you're with us, and I'm glad you're taking care of this, so thank you.
Thank you.
Approval for the costs of closing, and we needed to direct you to close.
Correct.
Those three things. So does somebody agree to those three things and can give me a motion?
Mayor, it's really authorizing the city manager to execute all documents to effectuate the closing, but I got what you meant. I just wanted to be sure that was clear in the motion, so that's our authority for the city
we're not
manager.
gonna repeat it.
To run. Yep, you can just say what Nikki just said.
What Nikki just said, okay.
What Nikki just said.
Okay, Commissioner Freeney and Commissioner Gao. Okay, final comments from anybody. Commissioner Freeney, you made the motion.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'll have other times to make comments, but, this is like, we're already taking this amazing legacy, forever, lifetime thing and making it better.
Right.
I mean, how much better can it get? It's like, we've got the 43 acres of Gladys Douglas property, 80 acres, for a total of 124 point,
Right.
whatever. I mean, it's just exciting, and again, I've said it 10 times, I'll say it again, there's nothing this commission will do that will ever surpass the importance and the impact of this decision, so.
That's right. I'm sorry, Commissioner Gao.
This is a great day. I'm excited. Thank you.
Okay. Vice Mayor?
You know what? I can't wait to go fishing on here. I really can.
I can't wait to watch you go.
I can't wait to watch that. I grew up in Oklahoma. I know how to fish.
Oh, okay.
But, Bruce, I want to thank you because sometimes it's so much the strength of those connections. And, because you were with Swift Mud, that's how I first knew you. I mean, I know that you did some amazing work in bringing this forward, so I thank you.
Okay, I appreciate that. And just to note, the guy I was dealing with, Steve, he retired last week. So we're getting him at the end of everything. So it's a good deal.
Oh, my gosh, but
I'm
thank
very
you.
excited.
Commissioner Dorn, any final
I'm
comments?
supportive.
Okay, I am too. I did reach out to one of the Swift Mutt board members and let them know what was coming and hoped that that we would get his support, given the fact he's a Dunedin resident.
Oh.
So, anyway, this is really exciting. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. I want to see the closing documents first, and then I think we can maybe throw Deborah's confetti.
That was a
Fish.
play to Easter, the
Live
chicken before.
Yeah, nah. All right, let's do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Tornga?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Kynes?
Aye.
Commissioner Gao?
Aye.
Commissioner Freeney?
Aye.
Mayor Bojowski?
Aye, and that motion passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yay! Good
So,
stuff.
Mayor, just so the residents understand, this is what we mean by epic.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, you're right about that, 100%.
yeah. Well, and once those closing things come, obviously, we want Miss Sue to plan some big, thing on social media.
We'll put her in a canoe with
Yeah.
paddleboard.
I don't think I'm doing that with those gators in there, but.
Absolutely, Mayor, we will do something
Yeah.
special.
Okay, we will move on to. Well, so I will tell you that Bob Senior is a little worried because he's afraid that Bruce the alligator is going to get too used to humans. If there's a lot of use out there, so he's, just a little bit worried. I won't kayak
How
there.
big is Bruce?
I wouldn't kayak out there.
I don't know. They do have a big one.
9 feet.
But we do have
Yeah.
to be careful with that. I mean, it's, it's
Yeah,
a pretty
that-
unspoiled area.
Yeah,
it is.
and that's the point. Okay,
It's the most important point.
Public Relations Advisory Action Committee, their continuance. Ms. Sue. There she is.
You could have Cynthia come up, yeah.
You can go wherever you want, girl.
Right.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission. Sue Burness, Director of Communications. And so it is my pleasure this morning to introduce the chair of the Public Relations Advisory Action Committee, and that is Cindy Schmidt. I've gotten to know Cindy, and we've had a lot of new members on the committee this year, which has really invigorated energy and new ideas. And it has been a pleasure for me as a new director in a new city to be able to have this group of very passionate, engaged citizens to be an advisory to myself and my staff. So I'd like Cindy to come up to give her report.
Welcome, Cindy.
Thank you.
You can go there, you can go to the podium, either way. Okay.
Good morning, Cindy Raskin-Schmidt. I know everybody, so I won't go too far down the
Good morning.
introduction roadway. I'm very honored to continue to be the chair of the Public Relations Advisory Action Committee for another year. We have a very diverse group. We've worked really hard as we.
I'm sorry, hit the microphone button to turn it on, yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought I had.
It's all right.
We've worked really hard to have a diverse group. So as we have had people drop off and we review the applications, we really look at the background of the individuals who are applying so that we have a diverse group of people. So we have men and women from different generations and different walks of life and different professions so that we have a good cross-section of the population represented. So for the past year, we were, of course, excited to welcome Sue to the city team, and I was honored to be invited to help serve on that selection committee to bring her on board, which was really great. We also had a chance to review the citizen survey with Lael while she was serving as the interim liaison for the group. We shared feedback about the Love Dunedin campaign. We discussed the staff communication plan for the neighborhood surrounding City Hall, all the construction that was going to be happening there. We gave a lot of feedback about Dunedin TV, about the programming and the strategic roles and goals that were part of that communications channel. We provided regular feedback about videos such as the Made in Dunedin, the city manager updates, the business features. And since Sue has come on board and Antonella's come on board, we've really seen those ramp up and just really take off and improved in ways that we have not really even anticipated. So they're really great. And we also have, as a team, kind of served as social media ambassadors, watching the social channels, looking for things that are coming up, asking questions of staff when we see something that might be incorrect out there, so we as citizens can help direct people to the correct information. So we really remain committed to being a valuable part of Sue's team, and we would ask that you please continue us for another however many years, the continuation, 3 years, another 3 years. So I'm happy to answer questions if anybody has any.
Any questions for the group or any things you want to see them look at or in the coming years?
I just have a comment. I
Go
love
ahead.
how you said that you love being, a part of Sue's team, that you're working as a team. I used to be the staff liaison when I was a staff person to PRAC. I know the importance of PRAC. And I just think that teamwork, and I know, John, that's always your thing, that they're advisors to us, but to me, the best functioning committees are when you have a really great professional staff and you link it with very engaged citizens who want to blend and bring it together. And so thank you for that, and thank you for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
I'll just jump in. I see Anne sharing Antonella's posts all the time. All the time. Anything, Commissioner Tornville?
No, thank you.
Just the same thing. I've really seen this PRAC. I think it just really zoomed because I think you've got the right person in place, and Antonella's wonderful, and I think that there's been so much talent that maybe it just wasn't being utilized, and I think that's what's happened. You all are a very talented committee, and I've been very proud to see how much you're doing. Thank you.
Commissioner?
Thank you, Commissioner Freeney, because those are wonderful comments, and I agree with the with the whole teamwork. And just thank you for we have a lot of advisory committees that just really work well and really have a team effort and focus on what we're trying to do as a community, not just a city and government. So just thank you for what you're doing, and we really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ditto, ditto, ditto. But you know what I also want to say is, like you said, Mo, it really does help when you have a good leader for the department and understands not just what the goals are, but what they should be. And are guiding, well, the whole city, but your group, as well. And so I think we couldn't be happier. We really couldn't be happier. So
continue on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Continue on, honey.
Thank you all so much.
You're welcome. All right, can I have a motion to extend the Public Relations Advisory Action Committee?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Vice Mayor and Commissioner Franny, thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay, we have a city lift station replacement contract or project. So I don't see okay, there's nothing to read. So staff presentation on that, or is it getting postponed?
No, we have a staff presentation. Ma'am.
Okay.
Are we going to take a 5-minute break soon?
Do you
Because
wanna
I'll be
do that
taking a break soon from Dias if
Okay,
you don't. So.
sorry, gentlemen, let's do that break now.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Because I know how that will take a while, probably. Somebody's going to ask some questions.
Well, it's $4 million project. I have a question, but that's okay.
All right, back to the bid for the lift station replacement. Russell?
Good morning again, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission. Russell Ferlita, Public Works, Utilities, and Engineering. And to my left, again, I have Matt Woodham, Senior Engineer from Engineering. And we're here to present an award for bid number 22-1197. It's for the citywide lift station control panel and SCADA system upgrades project. So the city has 42 lift stations citywide that this project encompasses. This upgrade project is located at various points throughout the city at each of the lift stations. The electrical control panels and remote telemetry units, RTUs, have all reached the end of their useful life, and they require replacement for continued reliable operation. The master plan that was performed several years ago by King Engineering identified this replacement as a high priority project, and this is one of the last projects from that master plan to be performed. The scope of services includes the replacement of the existing electrical control panels and RTUs at the 42 stations with new updated equipment, and they will all be fabricated from corrosion-resistant materials. This will increase their reliability, resiliency of the lift stations, and increase the city's monitoring capabilities, as well as reduce the risk of illicit discharge. The city received 3 bids for this work, ranging in cost from $4.365 million up to $6.257 million. The bid submitted by General Controls of Lakeland, Florida, was deemed the most responsible low bid for this project. The NTP is currently scheduled for the month of August, and we expect to be substantially complete by March of 2024. Staff hereby recommends the award of the bid to General Control Systems of Lakeland, Florida, in the amount of $4,365,445. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions?
No, I mean, the staffing's good. I mean, I think, obviously it deals with 42 lift stations and the control of all that, so it's a very important project, which is, it's a high cost, $4 million. I saw how you vetted out, the concern for the company, this being their first project in Florida.
Yes, so this is a little of bit of a unique situation with this company, which is why we took so much time vetting this company. So the history of the company, the group that does this work used to be part of a company named Curry Controls, and they had quite a good reputation. Curry Controls got bought by another company named Revere. That group didn't like the direction of that company, so that complete group split off and was hired by General Controls. General Controls is a company out of New York. It's actually quite funny because during my tenure at Merck Pharmaceuticals, General Controls did the control integration of the Januvia plant in, Puerto Rico and Barceloneta. So I recognized the name, so I talked to the guy during one of the vetting projects. So we had quite a good experience then. Now, granted, that was in a previous career of mine. But regardless, I'm confident that this team will do good work. I actually contacted Frank Ferlita up in Hillsborough County, who is the collections manager, now retired and came back to work to run the collections jobs for Hillsborough County. And he's been extremely happy with that group. And that's the exact group that's on this project. So Hillsborough County has much larger and many more lift stations than we have. So I'm confident that they'll do that. They'll do a good job.
Well, I was impressed with the due diligence, so I appreciate it, Russell. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, I follow right up with what Mo had said. And so then I just have one further comment. And you answered a little bit of it. Why is there such a spread in this particular case?
That's another portion of my concern. So this particular company is an all-in-one basic group, right? They build their own control panels, they build their own RT units, they install them. They have an electrician that wires the cabinets together, and then they have a general contractor that does their bypass pumping and runs the main utility project. So for the most part, it's an all-in-one unit. The other 2 bids were both general contractors that subbed everything out, right? So when you deal with a general contractor, you have the general contractor markup, profit, as well as the additional insurances that go with that. When you calculate those differences, that difference doesn't look quite as big. On top of that, General Controls does not have a lot of jobs in Florida, so they intentionally came in and cut razor-thin margins in order to get that reputation. This really is a Keystone-type project to help get their name out there in this community.
Thank you.
So we're benefiting from that, basically.
Questions?
Yes, and it's a real question.
Okay.
Okay, you said that, I believed, that you will begin in August 2022, and when is the end date?
It's, I believe I have it in here. It's estimated based on the estimated time is March 2024.
Yeah,
we
that's-
think we can be more aggressive than that, but
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard is 2024, but
Correct.
you're redoing 42.
correct. We won't be at each individual lift station that long, if that's your question. So the way that this project will work is the beginning part of the project, they'll submit what they're going to build. We'll approve that. They will build all of these panels in sequence, store them, and then they will ship them to the city and install them one by one. So each project will probably take maybe a month or so, depending on the complexity of that particular lift station.
And then there's two that are totally going to have to be redone for hazard mitigation.
That's correct. So those two lift stations, as part of the staffing, lift station 20 and 32, a bit of good news, lift station 20 has been approved for construction through the HMGP grant that we have. That was a $975,000 grant that we got, 75% match. So once we get that final bid package together from our consultant, that's McKim & Creed on that particular project, that's going out to bid. And it will be the same control panels, same equipment, everything as these particular lift stations. They're just going to be done by a separate contractor and covered 75% by that grant.
Are they in worse shape? They were even in.
They are, it's hard to define worse shape. There's different mitigating factors for those two lift stations. Lift station 20 is right on Jerry Branch for Jerry Lake watershed, the Curlew watershed. Is undersized. That's, if you recall, that's actually the property that we purchased in order to upsize that lift station. So there's other mitigating factors with that particular lift station that makes it a little bit more dubious and a little bit more difficult, which is why we got approved for that funding. Lift station 32 is also on Curlew watershed, right on, it's basically a big retention pond that's part of the Curlew watershed that goes into Jerry Branch. That one also is undersized and has to be completely reconstructed. As part of those grants, we're going to try to get emergency bypass pumping as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Questions?
Yeah, we're doing this for all 42. Is that standard on that we would replace them all at one time? What does that mean? What's the lifespan of these, and when will we have to do this again?
So the lifespan of the control panels, that's the electrical portion, is a little bit different than the controls portion, which is the RTU panel. A lot of these lift stations were built at different times. Some of these were brought into the city for different reasons. Some of them were basically brought in because they were developed by a developer, and they have mismatching equipment, let's put it that way. The point of this project is manyfold. One is to standardize the equipment that we have so that we don't have to have multiple backups. A lot of the equipment is outdated, so you can't get spare parts. I hate to say that they're held together by duct tape and shoestrings, but the equivalent in an electrical world, right? So our guys have done a fantastic job keeping these things running, but they are in dire need of replacement. Some of them are a little bit newer because we've had to replace a little bit of equipment, and I don't want to bore you with the details, but the fact is all of them really are outdated, and all of them need replacement. I think a reasonable lifetime expectancy is 20 years. We should easily be able to get more with good maintenance.
Okay, so we can expect the next commission in 20 years might have to do this all again.
It'll be a similar project in 20 years. It'll be a little bit easier because you're going from a standard to another standard. And it'll just be updating the equipment. And honestly, 20 years from now, I don't know what's going to happen, but a lot of the technology that was good 20 years ago has just been updated. So it's basically the same thing, just newer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody from the public wish to speak to this item?
I would just like to just like to tell Commissioner Franny that this is the good thing about crap in, crap out.
Very good. It
We're already
regulates it.
We're already getting loopy. Okay, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Gowan, Vice Mayor Kynes, thank you. Any final comments from anybody?
I have one. I just, you know, this is the basic stuff. This is what governments need to do. This is the most important thing. You don't get all the fun stuff if you don't do this stuff. And I'm glad we're doing this. It's really important. And, yeah, this is the important stuff that we do.
You're not going to, it's very important to be able to flush our toilets.
Crap in, crap out.
You know, and it's right.
Yeah, no, I'm stopping there because it's going to get dangerous after that.
And you're right, Commissioner, and these are the things that we can easily just bypass as just basic, that's why we're here. You know, earlier today, Commissioner Torringa had the one item that was pulled, and I consider that to be all of it infrastructure, and it's important that we talk about it. This is where a lot of our money
To be
goes.
forgotten with all the special events, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, and we don't want to be, one of the communities that has been in our county that had a bunch of leaks either.
No, we do
you
not.
know, or
No.
failed lift stations, so.
Let's avoid that.
Right. It's environmental as much as anything else.
It is. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Now we'll go to the renewal of our recycling contract. Bill? We've covered all of this now, right? Pretty much?
Yes,
Nothing very different,
you've been briefed all 5 years.
so.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Commissioners. Welcome, Paul Stanek, Director of Public Works and Utilities, and I'm here with Bill Pickram and Natalie Gass to go through our request to extend our current contract with Waste Pro for another 4 years, and Bill and Natalie will go into the details about that.
Good morning, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission.
Good morning.
Bill Pickram, Natalie Gass with the Solid Waste Division, here this morning for your seeking your approval for an amendment to an existing recycling contract with Waste Pro. Our single-stream recycling program is 10 years old. It flew right by. It began in 2012 when we outsourced that service with a private contractor and continue that with a private contractor. The program services approximately 13,000 households, also services those self-haul customers who drop off their materials at our 2 drop-off sites. We're currently operating under a 2017 contract with Waste Pro for the weekly collections, the transportation of the recyclables to their MRF in Sarasota, and the processing and sorting of those recyclables once done when done at the MRF in Sarasota. The contract we're under has a 5-year term set to expire at the end of this fiscal year. We have a provision in that to renew for up to another 4-year period. It's important to make note and to build upon or to explain in detail really on how the contract is structured. We have a 2-part fee structure composed of a fixed monthly collection fee. Today that rate is $4.11 per household per month that the city pays Waste Pro for the weekly collections. And a variable separate per ton processing fee to separate and bale and bring those recyclables for resale in the open market. Those are 2 important cost components to the existing contract. There is a processing, it's important to understand too that the processing fee, that variable, is based on the average market value of our recyclables. And naturally, those fees fluctuate based on how the market is performing. The contract, very small, well, it's not small, but in size of the overall contract, there's a set fee of $25,000 to include the processing of the recyclables at our 2 drop-off sites. I want to bring part to make sure that we know today on how Waste Pro is performing. Since 2017, our public-private partnership with Waste Pro is working very well. Couldn't be pleaser with them. They've really stood out and went above and beyond in some areas that they provided 2 roll-off trucks during the aftermath cleanup in Irma. You don't see that too often with a private partnership that you have when it comes into those times. They stepped up there. They dedicated 2 collection trucks that operate on compressed natural gas. And at the city's request and at no additional cost, we did some route restructuring a couple of years ago, and we added a 5th collection day to gain better route efficiencies. We started having meetings with Waste Pro last year, knowing that we have an opportunity to extend the contract. The discussions throughout those meetings, city's staff, we requested a handful of items. Particularly, we requested that Waste Pro keep the average market value processing fees and the transportation fees as is, keep those as is. We also sought that they continue to provide reliable commercial recycling service at a not-to-exceed fee when requested upon for that service by those users, those customers. We requested that Waste Pro take over the function of recycling cart replacements, which is currently being performed by city staff. And the cart replacement that we currently do is going to get a little bit more, in my opinion. If we can, having a 10-year-old program, many of these carts in use today are are 10 years old, and they're beyond their useful life, and they'll need replacing. So we're anticipating that many of those carts will need to be replaced over the next handful of years yet to come. The last request the city made was that Waste Pro provide us an on-call roll-off hauling service fee that the city can use throughout the extended period for on-call roll-off hauling. The division currently, my drivers currently deliver approximately 480 recycling containers per year to the transfer station in Clearwater. However, due to deficits in our staffing levels in the division, we occasionally augment that hauling service and utilize Waste Pro personnel and drivers, their roll-off driver and truck. As such, the city requested Waste Pro provide an on-call per haul fee for the 4-year renewal period. That is, fee doesn't lock us in or obligate us to use those dollars, but to have it should we need them when staffing levels get to below where we need more bodies and trucks on the daily routes at the residents, collecting trash at the residents and businesses. Naturally, Waste Pro had plenty to reply on their behalf throughout those discussions, those meetings. It can be illustrated in one of the exhibits, which is a response letter. Waste Pro is requesting to amend the contract to change the CPI index to a more appropriate standard CPI. We currently, that CPI is titled Water and Sewer Trash Services in the U.S. The current CPI is titled Urban Consumer for South All Items. Those were examined by our purchasing department, Chuck Ankney, as well as city staff, and they examined that and they deemed that there was appropriate request and that we could accommodate. Both of those indexes are published by the United States Department of Labor. Waste Pro has agreed to our request to provide on-call roll-off service for help with getting our recyclables from our 2 drop-off sites to the transfer station at a set fee. This was not part of the original contract in 2017, but we're asking to be a part of this contract for renewal at approximately $88,800. And again, that's a hauling fee of $185 per haul, and we estimate approximately 480 hauls per year. In consideration of taking over the cart replacement, asking Waste Pro to do more work in that area of what we currently do in-house, they requested that due to that work alone, and also some inherent costs associated that we're all seeing in the industry, such as the increase in costs in vehicle replacement, vehicles and maintenance, replacement, fuel, and hiring and retaining CDL drivers. Waste Pro, for those reasons, and to ask them to take on the recycling or the cart replacement program, Waste Pro requested a one-time cost adjustment to the contract to be effective with the renewal term starting October 1 of 2022, and that new cost is $4.94 per household per month. That's the fixed component of the cost structure. Staff compared that monthly collection fee against some items that we're concerned about. We had a revenue sufficiency study done in 2012, and we examined that, as well as staff benchmarked the arrangement, the new arrangement, and looked at it compared to other contracts with other cities nearby. The sufficiency, the revenue sufficiency study, when we put that together in 2020, we did compare that. We feel that there is enough in there, and how we position ourselves to absorb some of the collection costs. There's an exhibit in the packet that kind of shows you where we're at with the collections and the processing fee, and how we positioned or modeled our rates to help to ensure that we don't put too much stress as years come. Based on, so to summarize with where we're at on this, is based on what we're asking is a total contract awarded amount is anticipated to be $884,440. And this is based on the weekly collection, weekly collection fee servicing 13,000 households. That cost will be $770,640, plus the $25,000 processing fee, fixed processing fee for the processing of the materials at the drop-off sites, plus the $800,000 on-call roll-off services, which we're recommending to be included on the awarded amount, to establish a blanket order and to have us have access to their resources should staffing level dips. And again, that's where the amount of $884,440 lies. With that, staff hereby recommends the approval of the Amendment 1 to the contract to renew the contract for an additional 4-year period, and to accept other proposed contract changes described herein. And then we threw a lot of information, we put a lot of information into the packet. There's 7 exhibits. Also, today, sitting in the crowd, there's a team of from Waste Pro here, should there be any need to bring them forward to ask any questions. But that's what we're seeking today, a continuation of our recycling program.
Thank you, Bill. Anything you want to add, Paul?
Yeah, I just want to mention too, it's a 4-year contract. As we move forward with this, and as the county moves forward with hopefully creating a MRF, we can look forward to some savings if that MRF gets then completed with this 4-year term. If not, obviously, when we go out for rebidding at the end of the 4 years, we'll have it available then. Also, the 4-year term does sit in nicely with our last rate sufficiency analysis. So as the 4-year term is ending, it's going to be time for a new rate sufficiency analysis. So we're kind of all coming together at the same time. I'll also mention that, Waste Pro has been a great partner as we've gone forward with this. They get Dunedin. They work the way our folks work. It's done right. It's done the Dunedin way. So we're very appreciative of them and being a partner with us.
Thank you. Okay. Questions? I'll start with you, Commissioner Franny.
Yeah, the only thing I wasn't clear about, Bill, was when you say you benchmarked against other communities, so this is competitive or comparable?
It's comparable, and it's a stretch to try to find a similar contract with what we do. Right. But where I can, there is a similar contract with one of the smaller communities. Smaller size community is going to be a smaller size contract, overall value of contract, and we're comparing below $5 a household, and we're at $4.94, is a benefit to us. That contract, I think, to allow for the weekly collections, which doesn't include the carts. I'm not quite sure on that, but the weekly collections is over $5, and it's over $5.25 a household. So compared that, and then it's a couple of other ones that weren't in our region, but that's what we examined. I became an analyst besides a garbologist.
Right. Garbage in, garbage out, right?
Garbologist?
Garbologist, I like that.
That'll be in our organizational study.
Yeah. And the other question, I guess, goes back to something I asked you yesterday, but, you know, my recycling container is like pretty good. I mean, so, but I guess, again, I keep mine in my garage. I'm lucky enough to be able to do that. But I guess a lot are just, they're exposed a lot more and get a lot more beat up.
There's some stress cracks, and my point with that I brought up yesterday was many of these carts are outside of the house in the elements, in the intense sunlight throughout the year. And 10-year-old carts, they have stress cracks, which are growing. A lot of people are using the carts that have made a concealed stress crack. It's just going to get more. So as Paul alluded to, it was a cost containment strategy that we had, and we needed, we were asking for some relief with our private hauler to take on that work at a cost.
Right, okay. I don't have any more questions. I think you've answered them, both, in our other meeting and this one. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Torga?
Yes, Paul, would you just really quickly, just in a couple sentences, just define what a MRF is to people that may be listening and don't know?
Okay, well, actually, I'm going to turn that over to Bill for the specific talk, because we're talking trash now.
It's a recycling sorting center.
So.
Yeah, it's
That's all it is.
Okay. And we want one here in Pinellas of our very own.
Thank you. That was for the folks that are listening that don't, and we get caught up sometimes in just using these things. And we're talking about a cost, and we're talking about a change in an agreement. And so I thought that was just kind of important to let everybody know what that is. We all talk about it all the time. So.
Right. And to follow up real quick, I mean, we do single stream. So all the recycling goes into that one bucket. So that MRF then takes everything from everybody's buckets and then sorts them into the different types of materials. And then they get bundled up, and then they go for sale. So that's what the MRF does. As you said, it's a sorting facility. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your comment, because I was going to ask about how we compare to some of the other organizations that are around here, and I think you covered that fairly well with, as you said, 494 about-ish, and that's quite comparable to what you looked at as a garbologist.
I like that term.
And she's going to like this a lot, because then she can talk about that garbage in and garbage out and whatever else she says. But that's neither here nor there. But thank you for that comment, so that we understand that we have some compatibility with what's occurring. We like that word, compatibility. Thank you.
Vice Mayor, any questions?
2 questions. Are we working ahead now with the county to try to figure out a North Pinellas MRF or someplace in the middle where we could all use it?
Bless you.
I'm banging that drum every chance I can get when I'm in my TMC group with my my counterparts.
I begged the county commissioners before they talked about ARPA to use that.
Yeah.
Begged them. Not on the list.
And obviously, we're doing everything on our end that we can do, so we appreciate it if you can do things on your end as well and make this come to fruition.
Well, I think that the bottom line is when everybody can join together and saying, we're having to pay these enormous prices because we do not have a MRF here, that's when you're going to get traction. It's not just Dunedin. It's,
It's everybody.
It's everybody, and that's the political traction that I see. Everybody is in the same boat because we don't have one.
Part of the problem, though, is going to be the more they sort the recyclables at a sorting center or a MRF, it's the less they burn and the less money they make.
Well,
Mayor, if I could, and Vice Mayor, to that point, you know, the county obviously, I think.
Nobody wants to say that publicly.
Well, no, but I think the county wants to pursue that because then that extends the life of the landfill doing so. But aside from that, I just wanted to remind the commission that given our current contract, we're amending with this term to extend the 4 years with all the conditions that the bill elaborated on. But I did want to point out in our current contract, we pay $40 a ton to transport it to the MRF in Manatee County. So obviously, that's not going to go to zero if there's a MRF in North Pinellas, but it should drop substantially. So there will be a cost savings to our residents and our customers just by the virtue of having a MRF in North Pinellas as opposed to having to transport it to Manatee.
Right, and I did not believe that it was going to go away, but I do think, again, it would go down substantially. Okay, that was my first question. My second question is, Bill, you talk a lot about how their recyclables fluctuate. So where are we sort of in the worldwide recovery costs on recyclables? Is it up? Is it down? I'm just very curious.
It is. We're healthier this year than we were 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we took it on the chin where we were, the value of our recyclables, everybody's recyclables in the open market were at an all-time low. And I'll do my best to do this without professing I'm an expert of understanding how the market performs and how the values do, but we took it when there was a big shift with what China would allow us to send their way or what they were willing to buy, and it disrupted the market. The values plummeted. We paid top dollar in 2020, and one of the exhibits that gives a historical cost component to our program, that's where we took it on the chin when it comes to the cost on the processing. Since a year ago at this time, in Q2 of last year and continuing on, we're starting to see some proceeds coming from the value of our recyclables. This last quarter that just ended, Q2 of our fiscal year, there was about a $17,000 check proceeds coming our way for the value. Not paying any processing, but now getting the proceeds. It's all market driven, but it does fluctuate. Big trigger that I'm getting schooled on is that the value with the price of fuel going up where it is, what's resin is plastic. So the value of that commodity, so what's inside our blue carts, if it's got some very good clean plastic, bring it on. It's going to increase the value where we're at.
Well, I thank you. I mean, I think, you know, you're fighting a lot of things on different fronts because you have the recyclable cost, you have the cost of transporting, you know, out to Sarasota. You know, nobody can, until we have something else here, that's something that you can't really control. And so, you know, you're trying to fight a lot of battles on a lot of fronts to come to the best price that we can for the next 4 years.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner?
Thank you. And to piggyback on that, the average market value, and maybe it's in there, maybe I just didn't see it during the presentation, but the cost of that, is that built into the 884? And that's in addition to?
The 88,800 figure, that is for the transportation of our recyclables for the roll-off drivers to do that work, to get our materials from our drop-off sites to the transfer station. The average, and Exhibit B, which is the contractor's fees, is the average market value. The processing fees are tiered. And I'm not sure if I'm going to answer the question with this, but each month we get a value of our recyclables, and that is average for a quarterly number, which is what we either pay or not pay, or not paying, receive some proceeds.
Right. I'm just trying to understand whether that's part of because the 884 is a fixed cost, but we're also dealing with average market rates. that can go up and down. We either have to pay, or on a good month, we might get a check. Right? So it's a matter of so it could be that we've got the 884 plus whatever is
That's
on the
correct.
retail side.
Correct. Right. And it's a cost share, right? So we're partners with Waste Pro. So as Bill alluded, when the market went down, we were in it with Waste Pro, and our costs went up. As the market gets better, we're happy if we're at zero, and then if the market gets really better, which it has been done lately, Waste Pro is actually cutting us a check. But like I said, it is a cost share between us, and we both have skin in the game. So yes, and that is on top of the $884,000, and it can go either way.
And is what happens with the area that average market value? What's driving that? Is it more the use of that recycled material on the other end, or is it, and it's probably a combination, but the quality of that recycling on the other end and contamination rates, and what role does that play? I'm trying to figure out what we can tell the residents on how they can help us reducing the cost of recycling by increasing the quality of what's recycled.
Natalie, can you take
Sure,
a stab at
sounds
that
good.
one?
He went up for that.
So in 2021, they did a study of the recycling in Pinellas County, and that included Dunedin's recycling. County average was about 19% contamination rate. Dunedin was at about 17%. So we came in a little bit below the county average, and I think that's our whole message, is to continue to drive down that contamination rate through our education, through our outreach. And I do want to also commend Waste Pro on their partnership and their communication, tagging carts that have contamination, that they're not, some of these things that are obvious, they're not going into the truck in the first place. So we're able to have that conversation with the resident. I mail them, a new sticker, information, send them to our recycling page, our room-by-room recycling guide, and try to really get them educated on what can go in the bin and what cannot. So I think, we work on that every single day.
Okay, beautiful. So the residents can play a role on reducing that 884. All right, very good. And our current rate structure, as far as what we charge the residents, this isn't gonna, it's not gonna change the rate structure immediately, right? We're good with where we are with what we're charging residents.
We are indexed.
We'll be able to absorb, at least in the short run, the cost of this.
Yeah, we are indexed through 2025. We went and reviewed the Stantec analysis, and at this point in time, yes, it'll be contained within our existing costs, and then with the index rates moving forward for the next 4 years.
Very good. So approving this contract, the residents aren't going to be concerned next month that their rates are going to increase.
Correct.
Okay. Then, Bill, I noticed that on the replacement cost for the containers, that each year the number being replaced increased. And I was just curious, is that on, I've been thinking that there'd be some average that we replace 100 carts a year, but this seems to increase. So I'm wondering if that plays a role in when and how we purchase them, or whatever.
Well, and that's why we're coming to you with the contract the way it's set up. Waste
The
Pro.
contractor does it instead of
Yeah.
us.
And Waste Pro is obviously much larger than we are. They're, a statewide national company, and, that they're able to purchase these carts, the better carts, and for less money than we can do. And they'll, move them forward as our, 10-plus-year-old carts become 14-plus-year-old carts. We're gonna be seeing more failures in that. And that's why it makes sense with us and with Waste Pro, once again, having that buying power for them to be able to go out and get those carts and provide us a better product moving forward.
Okay. And as they take on that role, right, we do have safeguards that we won't have residents that have now complained for 4 months on getting their cart replaced, that it's not replaced.
That's continuing to be done. That will stay as is. The resident won't need to act any differently. They call us, they have a broken wheel, no lid, cracked base. We get it on a list. Waste Pro will come in once a week on a Wednesday, which is currently the day we do that work, and they'll do it. They'll have a work order list by Tuesday night and be in town the next day.
Okay, so there's some comfort that they will respond to the residents as quickly as we would.
Currently,
So that
it's,
the quality of service on that level won't decrease.
That's correct.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I was a little confused on the annual comparison charts for the costs. Is fiscal year 2022 where we are up till today, or is
Yes,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yes,
'Cause
year to date.
I couldn't find anywhere where that said that. And I'm like, what? So, yeah, that doesn't help me in any way. But when I look at the 2023, right now you don't have any, let me see. So it looks like in our model, we're about $100,000 higher. We are, to the good,
Yes.
compared to the changes that, and what's been going on. Okay, so really, that's all we need to know, I think. Those were all the questions. Oh, Natalie, when I see when it talks about the recovery rate, for recycling, it said it was like in the 20-somethings. Does that mean only 24% is coming back to get recycled, or is it just the opposite? Is it like 75%? Because we used to be in the 60 and 70 range, but I'm not sure exactly how that calculation works, because it looks pretty small to me.
I think that the 20% was a contamination rate that you used from the 2020 Pinellas County
Okay.
composition study that they did on our recyclables.
Gotcha.
We have a participation rate. Our participation rate on a weekly basis, approximately 70% of our customers, of our 13,000 customers use it. But
Okay.
then we also have, it jumps up, some people are every other week users,
Yeah.
so.
So you feel pretty good about where we are, especially since we started,
We're in a better place than we were 5 years ago.
Right.
With a contractor. Yeah, Waste Pro, their drivers, our drivers, they retain their drivers. Having a new driver and learning that he's new because of the phones light up, they wasn't supposed to be
Right.
in my neighborhood by such and such time, is huge. It's route patterns, continuity for our residents, how they use the program.
Very good. Thanks, Bill. Okay, anyone wish to come forward and speak to this item? Please feel free to do so. You'll give us your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes. Okay, I'll come back to the commission. Can I have a motion to approve this contract with
So
the
moved.
recommendations?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Franny and Commissioner, or Vice Mayor Kynes, thank you. Any final comments?
Well, I mean, I think it's all been said. There won't be a rate increase directly to our customers. It falls within our planning layout. I do want to specifically say to Waste Pro, from my position in this seat and my position as a customer, you seem to be a really good partner, and so that's appreciated very much. I like the term that you get Dunedin.
Vice Mayor Kynes, any final comments?
No, I would really reiterate that. I think that's very true. People talk about who's picking up their trash and who's picking up their recyclables, and it does seem to be a very good partnership, and so I'm very happy to vote for this.
Okay.
Ditto. And if we can't do it ourselves, we can't say enough about the quality of our partnerships. And so, thank you, Waste Pro. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Torga?
Well, thank you.
Okay. I too. You guys seem to feel good about all this, so I have no reason not to feel good about it. So thank you very much. No, I'll just do a voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thanks for sitting through our meeting. Okay, and then we have the proposed agenda for Tuesday, the 3rd, and I think you have some updates, Rebecca?
I do. Thank you, Mayor. We do want to add it's a consent item, so it doesn't have to be approved, but since I was aware, I wanted to let you know, the new city website, cloud system will be on the consent on the May 3rd. Sue has just finished that up, so she's going to be putting that on there. And then I noticed that when I copied and pasted a previous public relations was back on there, it actually should be Edgewater Drive. I just, when I moved it over, I just missed that, and so I wanted to make sure that you were aware that it would be Edgewater Drive coming for the continuance on May 3rd. And that was
That's the 3B, then that'd be 3B instead of
Right.
public relations? Okay.
Yes, it was just, public relations was obviously today. So,
This is just a little off, but I think, and I just wanted you to validate, for today's agenda, it looked like when the additional item got added, that maybe we lost the main memo for the following item.
3B.
Yeah, you might want to look at it. We lost I think it was on the Gladys Douglas, or the Jerry Lake.
Yeah, the staffing.
Yeah, the staff memo went away. So I just, for purposes of anybody going on and want to read it, might just check it,
Okay.
It looked like it went away. So, but I'm fine with this.
Okay, so with that addition, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Vice Mayor Collins and Commissioner Franny, thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we have no informational items. I did not hear from anybody on commission discussions. Rebecca, do you have any updates?
I don't, thank you.
City manager, I didn't hear from you, so I'm
I just
assuming.
have a city manager's update, which is
And
on the agenda.
I didn't hear from you either, Nikki, so nothing from you?
No, Mayor?
Okay, we'll go to final comments. Start with you, Vice Mayor. Anything on your liaison things?
We have a history museum meeting tonight, which I'll try to make a very small part of because we have other things also. The garden party was a fabulous success. 330 people attended.
Wow,
So
that's a lot.
that was the biggest that they've ever had, so that's
That's a lot of people at the golf club.
Well, they were all out in the back.
Yeah, I bet.
So congratulations to them, and I know they thank everybody that participated and came, and they were very excited about that. Thank you.
Commissioner Gao?
Thank you, Mayor. On the school side, as liaison, all of our performing arts programs have received superiors or straight superiors in all of their competitions for the year. That's wonderful. Our NJROTC went on to national championships for the drill team, and I'm hoping at some point I can get them in kilts. There's a Navy tartan, so hopefully that'll work. For PSTA, just to let you guys know that there is an alternate position open on their planning committee. I'm on their finance and I'm on the legislative committee, and I've also
Get on the planning.
I've also requested
That's
that.
the most that's the most important committee you can get on.
I jumped on the
'Cause I did it
legislative,
both. I did that.
and I agree with that, and I actually even told Brad that I would drop the finance committee to get on the planning
Yeah, for
committee
sure.
to do that. But we'll see how that rolls out tomorrow. And so that's all there is right now.
Okay. Commissioner?
Yeah, I should have checked to see if Toronto Blue Jays were in first place. They were momentarily, we'll see, but they've got a good team this year, so, we'll keep
Is this the
keep
third
hoping.
year? Is this, right, didn't they promise in 3 years they'd be in the World Series?
I think last year they thought they would, but COVID, they had a lot of challenges last year, so I think it's this year.
They still do.
That's my prediction.
I mean, they didn't
It's
get
this
as much
year.
practice, so.
Yeah, it's this year. I did want to comment, I had to miss the garden party because I had taken my mother back to Ohio, but I understand they were honoring you, Deborah, in some way, which you so deserve, the art queen of America. I mean, you're all things arts, and you couldn't ask for a better cheerleader, so I'm glad they did that, and I'm sorry that I missed that, so. I just had one question, pickleball courts. I didn't see it in the city manager's update. Do we know, where we're at and what the plan is, and if we have a timeline, or?
Of the
looking at the drainage issues. Yeah, thank you, Bruce.
Well, that all starts with you two.
Right.
Our involvement in engineering is we are looking at a pickleball court at the
Pickleboard
Eagle Scout Park. Came out. And our assumption is that Parks wants to go forward with that. So what we are in the process of doing is we're putting together a plan and bid set for that. We've reached out to a contractor that's done that, get some specs. That's not our forte, but we're going to pull something together, and we expect to have, the plan is not that complicated. We're just trying to get the specs that are required for the pickleball court itself. We expect that. One thing we are doing that's delayed us a little bit, that site is the former, there's been landfill under there, so we're getting some geotechnical borings done just to see what the stability is of that material. That'll dictate the base that we put in. But I expect as soon as we get that, we should have something here by, I'll say, the end of the month or the beginning of May, at least from a planning standpoint. Now, the budget that we're working with is around $400,000 for the total. So that's kind of where we are in engineering. Pull that together. Other than the pickleball court, there's not a whole bunch to do out there. A little bit of drainage. We got water moves from the east to the west, and we'll get it across that property. And not that complicated of a project, but it does take a little bit of work.
Can I jump in on that?
Sure.
Is there, I'm going to look at Jorge, because I know during the stormwater master plan stuff, you wanted to do drainage at Sterling, and I know we haven't had our public meetings and anything, but is there any economies of scale by tacking that area over there to be looked at too?
I believe that that's part of the outreach that Vince was going to be doing to see, what the community wanted, and could we incorporate those stormwater elements into that, and maybe try to wrap some trails around
Right.
pond expansions.
No, I know. I just wondered if, because what you said is you had an engineering service or whatever coming out. I thought, well, is there any economies of scale by doing both locations at the same time? That's all.
Yeah, I think to Bruce's point earlier, the focus right now for the pickleball courts that are budgeted, and Vince's programs are to do them at the Eagle Scout Park.
Yeah, I understand.
And then if we can expand and add some additional
I
ones
get it.
there.
I'm just trying to see if we can put two things together.
I just
Sorry,
want
Mom.
Jorge reminded me of something as where Parks is in that process, even at Eagle Scout. They have yet to go to the committee, and there's been some community concern about putting courts on the north side, noise and all that. So there's still some ongoing discussions and coordination on that front.
Another
with
reason why
Parks.
we might want to look at both locations at the same time.
Yes.
Just
So
saying.
That reminded me that that's not a.
'Cause there
that's
aren't
not
any
a
houses over
done
there.
deal in terms of will it go there.
Gotcha.
But no matter what, we agree
No, we have
as
to
a
do it.
commission
No,
that
we
it's
did.
not going to be bureaucracy America.
Right.
And we would get pickleball courts in 3 years. We'd get them sooner. So, and on that note, and I know you're working on this. No, I didn't mean that with disrespect. Could we get a timeline? I get hit regularly. Can we line some more tennis courts, which we know what that's going to mean. Oh, don't line any more tennis courts. Again, we had both groups come to us. They're, it's a little edgy, and
Well, we have a plan now.
We have a plan.
We do have a plan, so that's good.
Have a
But I
plan.
think, Jennifer, weren't you going to come back to us at some point on, because I think what I remember when we were doing ARPA, right, is you said that, okay, we gave you the general consensus, but that each project would come back to us
Right.
individually, as it got flushed out. I think especially with this one, but I think it might be beneficial if you can give us a one-pager with the name of the project and, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, whatever. It doesn't have to be exact. Things are going to happen, but it kind of gives us the information to know when. And nobody's going to hold your feet to the fire except about pickleballs, you know what I'm saying?
So you want a one-pager not specifically on pickleball?
No.
Okay.
No, on all the projects, because, I mean, we're gonna get questioned on everything.
Yeah, but.
The
Hold up the pickleball court.
Okay.
The ARPA
But
project.
if I can say something again, I mean, somehow we're going to have to figure out how many tennis courts we actually are going to need and how many
We have done that.
ball courts. I know Vince says that, well, we're going to have 12, but we're going to take back some of those
Yeah.
pickleball courts the tennis courts that have been made pickleball
Yeah.
courts. I mean, because somehow we really do have to look. We're hearing from both groups, and we have to try to the best of our ability to balance their needs.
Oh, absolutely, but we know what we don't have right now is pickleball
Right.
courts, so.
So we're asking
and
everybody
we
to
know-
share until we get them.
We know, unique to any project, and I apologize for doing this, because I'm just gonna do it, and I'm saying this lovingly.
I know you are.
But we know that staff was ready to go forward with our consensus when we had the meeting on ARPA, and somebody, the chair, wanted to, and I get it, wanted to
Wanted to
look at
what?
Sterling. You wanted to look at Sterling.
Oh, I'm not asking,
yeah.
don't misconstrue
Okay,
what I'm
yeah.
trying, I'm not trying to usurp what
I
we
know,
did.
and it could be a
in
better
any
location.
way.
I don't know. That
I
one's
was
gonna
just
take a while.
asking,
That
yeah.
one's gonna take a while.
And I don't want to hold this up for that. I just thought from the contract perspective,
I was really picking on you, but, just for fun.
was there
but
any economy
maybe
scale?
that wasn't a
Because I
good
have a
idea.
feeling that right after we build these, we're going to be landblasted that we didn't build enough. Not that
Yeah,
it's
no.
true, I'm just saying, I
But
think
that's
that.
what I'm
So I'm just trying to be prepared.
Yeah, I agree.
So, just for clarification, we can provide you the timeline for the pickleball courts at Eagle Scout Park, because that was a go. When we did the ARPA funding, there were some
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that you said go.
Yeah, just give us
And-
we don't have to have this tomorrow, though,
No.
the timeline. I just want to.
Well, we could probably put that together for the
Yeah.
pickleball really quickly. But to the point, the other projects, then, we would be happy to, we've baked them into the business plan right now, so it would be relatively easy to give you where we are right now, who the department that has jurisdiction over it, and what the funding is specifically, and timelines.
If you want to stick that in your city manager update, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And then just update it every couple of months or
If it's in the business
whatever.
plan, we'll get updated, right?
Yes.
I think that was maybe what she's saying. But maybe
Except
that's not
some
what you
things we
need.
know are going to have to come back to us, and that's what I don't feel I have a good handle on.
Gotcha. No, I understand.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I'll talk to staff and we can put something together.
I mean, I know where the pool is, but I don't know where the other little, things are, that kind of thing. However, whatever's easy, I'm not asking for, and maybe it's just something that you update every quarter or something like that,
can
just to
certainly do that.
know what we're doing.
Happy to.
Okay.
Yeah, and God bless Vince, because he saw the train coming.
He did.
Probably
Oh,
years
we've been
ago.
fighting for it
Yeah.
for a long time.
But, we got ARPA money now, so
It
that
took a
helps.
pandemic for us to.
Yeah, it did.
Get them done.
It's
No,
just-
but he did. He told me a long time ago.
He did. He saw it coming, so.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Commissioner Torga, anything on your liaison positions?
Well, sort of, but I want to make a comment about what's been talking about since a few people have, and it's just interesting. One of the things that staff was talking about was that this was kind of boring, but they meant boring. The other boring. But
Boring.
we have our
I was like, who said that?
I think Trevor made that joke. the
Don't
other day.
tell.
I got the garbologist here, and there we just had this whole conversation, and there we got that issue at one of these sites as well. But one of the things that I did want to follow up with is
You want to talk about pickologists? Is that what you're gonna say? Sorry, John.
No problem. Is that we've had a number of people that we've all spoken with about both of these sports, and we used to refer to them as court sports, and there are other sports that involve courts, et cetera. But we did have some folks that stood up before us, and I just want to remind the staff of this, that said, hey, they can get some of these courts built really inexpensively, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just making the comment that we do have people in the community that have good knowledge of these sports and good knowledge of these courts, and if they need any of that information, these people would be delighted to jump in and assist when and where they can, just because they want to help, that's all. They want their courts too, but they're all willing to help. The comment about the liaison, is really simple, and that's Dunedin Cares. And Dunedin Cares has some changes going on from a staffing standpoint, and that's all positive news. But they are seeking additional volunteers. We all are aware of the fact that that is a 100% volunteer organization. And Saturday mornings until 12, they can always use more people to help people get what they need when they need it at that location at Dunedin Cares. So I just pass that along to anybody that's out there if you want to help. Dunedin Cares is always looking for help. You can call Dunedin Cares and check with them. That's the only update that I'll have then on liaison.
Blue Jays are in first place, sorry. Just
Oh,
had to
very
slide
good.
that in.
Wow,
First place right
that's
now.
fabulous.
Very nice. So, I don't know if I've updated you on this, but I'll do it again. I do think it's important. There's two pretty cool things going on at Visit St. Pete Clearwater. One, and I do think I told you about this, but they have the elite events, and they use some of the bed tax money to sponsor those events. Many of you probably saw them out at our Highland Games. So we, as a group, the board, the TDC board, went through and said, we felt we wanted to see more events covered, not just the big dogs, and a lot of those events, those big ones, are well-established events and have been around for years. And so we wanted to see a couple other categories that didn't totally rely on hotel rooms, number of hotel rooms. So there are now 2 categories, and I don't remember the exact names of them, that don't rely on bed nights to show that it's a good event to support. One of those categories will be new events, where they will sponsor and help you help you get where you need to go to make an initial event successful in the future. It would be like maybe a 3-year commitment or something, or a 1-year commitment with 2 more years as options, that kind of thing, to get new events off the ground. And then the other one is, it would be simply for like our Highland Games. I mean, that they use all of that stuff in their international advertising, or the fact that we're a Scottish community, so.
It's like their number one thing they use.
It is.
Games pictures.
It is, so, I don't know when all of it's, I know that the county commissioners had to approve our recommendations. I'll find out tomorrow, because they're having their budget meeting tomorrow, I think. And then the other thing that they're doing, at the last meeting, Steve Haynes, the director, brought forward of his own accord. So y'all know I've been beating this drum when I tell you what it is for a long time. I think it was since like 16 or 17, Jeff Brandis made the changes in Tallahassee to allow bed tax to be used for tourist-related infrastructure. Okay, and we've been talking about this since that time at the Visit St. Pete Clearwater. Not one single person has ever been willing to budge to do it. We've had some dialogue about the fact that we're not trying to rebuild sewers with this money. What we want to do is spend it on tourist-related things like waterborne transportation.
Right, multimodal.
Yeah, the trolley going more frequently. Those are a airport service, a rapid airport service, right?
We've been talking about that.
I mean, these are things.
Slippery slope, though.
No, it is, but
Slippery slope.
But you have to show where it's tourist related. None of us were willing to talk about. Well, sheriff has to pull people over, and those are tourists, and blah blah blah. None of us are doing this. So anyway, nobody's ever even been willing to have the conversation, which, you don't have to agree, but just at least to be open and hear what everybody's concerns about. But at the last meeting, Steve, of his own accord, brought it forward and said that he felt it was time to have the dialogue and, look at, they have kind of like, with our CRA, we have sort of that master plan. They have a master plan. And right now, none of that's in there. And so he's looking at it at a very narrow scope. And yes, it can be a slippery slope, but guess what? The county commission is not, no offense, guys, love you, but they're not stepping up to do what they need to do to fund public transportation. And I'm going to go back and say it again. We got 1 million people that live here and 15.5 million that are visiting, with 90% of them coming with a car. So, just trying to find another funding option. So I just want to let you know he is supporting the concept. He, as a staff person, is bringing it forward, which makes it so much less political.
Oh, yeah. Did you beat him up behind the scenes, though? Is that what happened?
I actually didn't beat him up. I've just had a lot of fruitful conversation to show him that it doesn't have to be, okay, we're going to pay for St. Pete's sewer pipes, or we're going to pay for the Pinellas County Sheriff, or we're going to, the stress on our water system. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for things that not only are impacted, but can be enhanced to serve the tourist.
Such as a park and ride, and then you just shoot over the bay.
Any of those
exactly
things.
to the TIA. Shoot back, to the park and ride. And, instead of, and that is a lot of tourists. They would use that getting out of the TIA,
How much data does St. Pete Clearwater collect or analyze on what you had talked about?
They're looking at it now. Did you know that Forward Pinellas never looked at that? Never. Until I brought it forward 2 years ago.
What was your question? Just about the tourists?
Well, when we talked about...
The stuff I spout out, how much do they look at it?
Yeah, and it's like, what, 94%?
Oh, no, I'm
so we're willing to bring them...
I send it to
We're willing to
every time I
advertise to
update
get them
it.
to come, but we don't want any control over how they're coming by car, because there's no other alternative.
There's no other alternative.
We don't have multimodal.
Right.
I get it, but it's a long-term argument about the importance of that marketing money, and there's always
this
been
wouldn't touch
there's
the
always been a
marketing.
chomp.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, this
that's
is
good.
the way the rules are now.
But I understand the
everybody
big
has to
picture.
Yeah.
Right.
The marketing money is 60% of the budget. What we spend, 60% of the taxes
So
we
it's
collect.
the 40%.
So it's out of the 40%. And let me just tell you,
Well, you're
there's
bringing,
not a lot of projects, and
no, that's a good point.
we
That's
don't
right.
know where the rays are going. So it's like, look, this isn't a forever thing. I mean, if they get a deal with the rays, it might suck everything up, and it likely will. But what are we going to do? Just sit here for 3 years and do nothing when we can enhance the tourism experience as well as our residents with money that is not being paid by them? That to me is a win-win. So I just wanted to, I don't know when we're talking about it, but it's coming. So I think that's good. Good conversation. Okay, I think that's it, everybody. We are adjourned.
Hey, you gotta do that.
Yep.
Thank you for watching this City of Dunedin government meeting. If you'd like to review any part of this meeting or watch any previous government meeting coverage, you can watch these meetings online anytime through the city's website, dunedingov.com. Stay connected with everything Dunedin. Follow the city on this channel and on the city's Facebook page, through Twitter, and on the city's YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching this Dunedin television production.